The South African Municipal Workers Union has refuted media reports that it has a mortgage loan with VBS Bank, saying it's for printing machines.
Well, the statement has been made in a press briefing called by SAMWU today in Johannesburg. The controversial VBS Bank, in the process of liquidation, has been said to have funded SAMWU on some of their buildings. The union says they could only be assisted by VBS as other financial institutions could not approve their applications due to their credit scoring. The union has also emphasized they are in good financial standing and there is no threat of anyone losing their income. Well, the president of the union dispelled all the rumors in the public domain.
The issue of VBS is very unfortunate because we wanted to assist the emerging bank with the greater percentage of the clientele, and it's very unfortunate that certain officials in that bank, in terms of what has been portrayed in the media, decided then to do wrong things. It's very unfortunate that they went under curatorship. But what we have with them, it's an agreement, a loan agreement that is signed. It's in black and white. And I can show you that we are paying through the debit order facility. For instance, in 28 February, you'll see a debit of 576,000 was paid by SAMWU March and April. We have that on record, because it's the debit order facilities then in terms of servicing of that the loan agreement. So it is a transparent processes and would adhere to the loan agreement that we have with As them. You can see, I mean, there is a staff of this union, they operate on daily basis, they receive their salaries on each and every month. The telephone lines are working. We don't know the story that says in News 24 that we were on state of paralysis and the union is about to collapse and so forth. Those are lies. We can do a media tour in this building. You'll see each and everything is operational and members are serviced without fail.
And for now, Afro Worldview reporter Kulufelo Selajile joins us live from SAMWU House in Johannesburg. A very good afternoon to you, Kolo. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Perhaps just talk us through with regards to the union's reaction with regards to some of these allegations made against them, stating that indeed the union is actually broke, and perhaps just give us more details on what transpired in that briefing that was held by the union in Johannesburg this afternoon.
Well, a very good afternoon to you and our viewers at home. Of course, the South African Municipal Workers Union has just concluded its briefing in which their president was basically addressing some of the key topical issues that have been circulating in media reports in recent months. And of course, the president did of course say that they did have a loan with a VBS, a mutual bank. However, he did state that it was not for the reasons that have been put out there by the various media reports. Instead, he says that that particular loan was, of course, pertaining to printing machines that they needed for their provincial and regional offices across all 9 provinces, and that that particular loan was, of course, above board, and it had nothing to do with a mortgage that was supposedly for this particular building right here. He did, of course, state that they have been owning this building for a number of years, of course, and that it wasn't in fact for a mortgage. He did of course go on to say that part of the reason why they've had a good working relationship with VBS is VBS has always just been able to assist them in terms of getting housing and vehicle loans and subsidies for some of their members, as of course with other major banks it's been quite difficult, largely due to largely due to other credit scores of their members not of course being allowing for those members to get housing and vehicle loans. He of course went on to state that they have a good working relationship with the bank, as they have invested about 1 million, which they unfortunately at this current point in time they can't access due of course to the bank being placed under curatorship, and of course that he did say was unfortunate because the bank has been quite able to assist the working class and those that can't exactly meet the numbers that are required by major banks across South Africa. He went on, of course, to address reports regarding factions within the organization, which he says are absolutely not there. Instead, there are just a number of unruly members who, on a number of occasions, have started bogus executive committees to try and oust them. But he, of course, made mention of the fact that as a union, they've had one elective conference, which was in 2015, in which they were elected as the leadership that is currently at the helm, and that there is no other executive but them. And he also stated that they've taken members that have tried to bring divisions within the organization to court. They've also opened a case where they've been trying to get all the financial records of the organization just to see if things have been running above board prior to them coming into the union as leaders. And of course, this particular report was done with Ernst & Young, and in the preliminary forensic report, it does indicate that there was maladministration at the union before they came into leadership. However, he is saying that as the new leadership, they're trying to do everything that they can to ensure that things run smoothly so that they can better assist their union members and the workers, of course, to ensure that they can, of course, have a better living standard and things can just run smoothly for the union.
Now, do they have any indication as to who could be behind these scathing reports surrounding the union?
Well, the president did actually clamp down hard on media, saying that media does need to be informed thoroughly before they put out reports, before they print their stories. As much of the information that has been circulating in recent months is not true. When you look at the issue, of course, of why the loan was given, the loan of about 11.8 million was given to them. He's saying that all these reports about a mortgage are quite false and they should have been addressed first before publications went out and put out articles on reasons pertaining to that particular loan. He also did say that situations such as their telephone lines not working, their website being down, all of those are false and they needed to be verified before they went to print. And he's just basically saying that media needs to start doing a better job in terms of reporting fairly and really getting the story as it is.
And Akul, according to reports, the union has vowed to actually release a report on their current financial standings. Can you indeed confirm this, and when can we expect that specific report?
Well, we were not actually at liberty to get that particular information, but of course the union will release that report in due time, and once we have it, we will of course be informing and updating our viewers as we get that information. However, just to add, the president of the union did mention that as it stands, there really aren't any factions within the organization. If anything, with all the unruly members that have been trying to just bring the union down, they've been making sure that as a leadership they lead accordingly and they take all the necessary steps to ensure that the union is actually above board and does things accordingly. And in terms of their relationship with VBS, the president did mention that their relationship has been above board and they will of course not be implicated in any of the issues that the bank is currently facing right now. Of course, those issues around fictitious deposits and untraceable lendings. So he was just basically saying in terms of the loan, it was above board. It was not for the mortgage, but instead it was for printing machines. And he also stated that as a union, they are quite united and they are geared towards improving and making sure that their workers and the people that are under the union can actually get all the services that they need.
Well, Kulu, thank you so much indeed for those details. That was Afro Worldview reporter Kulufelo Salajile joining us live in Johannesburg this afternoon and packing more details on the press briefing that was held by SAMWU in Johannesburg this afternoon, where they were unpacking, or rather refuting media reports that the union is indeed broke and has been marred by allegations of factionalism within that committee.